This is literally the third time I'm shooting this video, and I just had to redo that intro. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, a man and a lens back again. And I hope this is the last time I'm saying back again for the third time today. My battery died on me, I didn't shoot on my Bcam, it was just a mess. And this is the issue I have with my X-T2, and that's the reason why I have to upgrade to the XS20. I saw one going for about 1.2 with a kit lens, the f2.8 to f4, so I'm tempted to get it, but yeah, hopefully something comes good. Oh, why am I holding? This is one of my last finds. You know, this bendy tripod that people have all the time. So they're not the Gorilla Pods, they came and did. This one is like a bendy one, but it's not like a Gorilla Pod. I think it's much better, to be honest, and you can put your camera in awkward places, especially if you're doing like an event and stuff like that. So I am going to talk about the lens that I recently picked up for the Fuji. You guys know that I got the 35 1.4 lens recently. This lens is amazing, by the way. It's like an all-purpose lens. If I only had to have one lens or 1.5 lens, let me just say that, I would use the 35 f1.4 because this lens, the f1.4, first of all, is amazing. I did a whole video about how blur your background gets with the f1.4. You can check it out on my YouTube channel. And it's also very tiny, very small for f1.4 lens. This is one thing I love about having Fuji's, the crop sensor one, not obviously the GFX. It's the lenses are very tiny. For f1.4, if you were to get this lens, for example, for a Sony or a Canon or even a Nikon, you will definitely have like a beefy big lens. F1.4 on this is amazing. So I got the Raspberry, I hope risespray or raspberry, I don't even know what's the name of, risespray somewhere there, lens. So it came in this box, literally. So you can see the packaging is awful. It came in this box. So the packaging is awful. It came in this box. So it also has like a pouch you can put the lens in. And obviously the lens is on the camera I'm using to make like this sort of tiny unfair comparison. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. It's an unfair comparison. It's on my X-T2. I bought the lens for around $25, $30 or $35. So it swims in that range. We do have sales. It's on AliExpress. I'll leave a link below if you are interested in seeing where I got the lens from. Yeah, it's not too bad of a lens, to be honest. It's actually a very decent lens for the price. Obviously, you have to take that into consideration. You cannot expect this lens to outperform its price, but it does to some extent, and especially for stuff like environmental stuff, like your environmental portrait and like your landscape portrait and maybe like flowers and stuff like that. And because Fuji gives me that ability to shoot with manual much more easily than the Canon, to be honest. I have this Helios M44 lens, and this lens has been used on Hollywood movies, to be honest, but I can't really use, for the sake of me, I can't really use this lens on my Canon EF mounts. I prefer using it on the Fuji. And actually, I'm actually thinking about getting a proper FX adapter for this lens. I have the EF adapter here, which allows me to use it on obviously the Canon cameras, but I'm definitely gonna grab my myself an adapter for the Fuji. I have this adapter that I use generally. You guys know about this. This is my adapter that adapts all my Canon lens to the Fuji, and I use it sometimes with this M44 mounted lens. But that's not really what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the value that this having a Fuji, for example, with a very cheap lens like this, that adds to you or adds to your photography. Fuji is one brand that I've noticed create an experience, a photographic experience, compared to the Canon. And Canon has been losing it, especially in the photography front, to a brand like Fuji recently, and even Sony to some extent, because Sony has added so much video feature to the camera that it feels really right to use a Sony if you're an hybrid shooter. And a lot of people are ditching Canon cameras, and I love Canon, to be honest. I love the brand, but I think at some point they don't just giving customer what customer wants, and Fuji is doing it the best. Example just being the release of the Fuji 106. Doesn't even make sense. Yeah, the Fuji 1006, maybe you could say that. So the Fuji 100V created just, you could see how a brand is responding to customers. Obviously, they kind of don't want to cannibalize their own video cameras because they put some video features there, but they are focusing more on the photographic experience there, as I said. And even when I got this lens, using it on my Fuji just feels a little bit easier than if I have to use any manual lens on my Canon, because I do have like some focus baking and stuff like that makes the experience just a little bit better. And obviously, it's as I said, a manual lens will just allow you to stop and focus and try to get the shot that really is needed and the shot that really looks beautiful. Whereas with the Fuji, it's not really with the Canon, it's not really the case. With a Canon, you want to shoot, make sure that you're done with your shoot and you go. It's not about creating an experience, it's just about shooting, getting the shot. Whereas with the Fuji, it's a little bit more than getting the shot. It's about experiencing, having a feeling about the shot that you are getting. And getting a lens like this, I'm not saying it's the perfect one, but it just allows me to also stop, focus, find out about which picture I want to shoot, and it allows you to stop and slow down a little bit on your photography. And photography is all about experience, and that's one thing that I think is very important. All those billboards that we see, as much as some of them, yes, about, I do have clients that comes to me, and what I prefer shooting in most cases is just giving really, really good photographic experience. And I always believe that when you're creating memories for a client, you need to make it so worthwhile for them. And the Fuji is one thing that really makes me stop and like admire photography to that extent, and that's something very important. And getting a lens like this actually just adds to that experience, and it adds a little bit more value. So creating value, very, very important for a photographer or even a videographer, but yeah, to a photographer to some extent. And I'm also planning to use a little bit more of my camera, because to be honest, the Fuji X-T2 has very good video features, and I don't think that I explore a lot of it, but I think with this lens, because I was kind of limited and didn't have really native lens for the Fuji, it allows me to do that. And even with my 35mm, right now it's on the 100 X-T1, so that is something that I really, really will enjoy. And yeah, so that's pretty much it about this video. I hope I'm gonna use this video, or maybe the other one, but this one, because it's shot at the same time, I'm able to use them in conjunction and maybe cut between them. So yeah, that's it guys. I'll see you in the next video, and peace out.